Hey there, love bugs. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I posted a video that was not one of my Torah recordings or not a copy of my podcast. So I wanted to come on here and record a video so you can see my face and all that good stuff and just talk to you a little bit. So I do have notes because I'm the type of person I can have all kinds of ideas of things I want to say to you. If I don't have notes, I'm going to forget in the middle of talking. So if I look like I'm reading at some point, probably am because I'm looking at my notes. So just keep that in mind, kind of thing. And this is totally low key. I am off work today because it's Juneteenth and I decided to close the library today because it's a holiday and because I can. So I did. But I'm at home and it's hot as heck outside and our air conditioner is not working. So you probably hear my fan in the background and I'm just recording this and I'm not going to edit it. So yeah, there's that. But today I wanted to talk about being spiritual, even if you're not religious. Now, a lot of people claim to be spiritual, but not religious. And some people confuse spirituality and religion and just don't necessarily understand what the difference is. Whatever. I'm not here to talk about the difference between spirituality and religion. I just want to talk about spirituality in general and ways you can deepen your spirituality, your spiritual practice, whatever that means to you. Because I'm not here to tell you how to be spiritual. I'm just here to give you ideas on ways to deepen your practice and what that means to you. So, what does the word spiritual even mean? So, it relates to that which is of the spirit, the human spirit. It goes beyond the material, beyond the physical, beyond what we can see, that kind of thing. And spirituality is all about appreciating all aspects of our lives, everything that makes up who we are, what we believe, how we live, and appreciating all of that fully and as abundantly as we can. Now, most people have learned to experience the world in a very surface level capacity, and many people are superficial in everything they do, which is sad because when you live your life on a surface level of everything, you just don't get the nuance of anything. And you can't appreciate anything fully if you're just experiencing it on the surface level. So, everything in life has more below it. If you think of any aspect of your life like an iceberg, you have the tip of the iceberg that you see, but then underneath the surface of the ocean, there's this huge chunk of ice that you don't see that is so much bigger than the part that you do see. So if you live your life experiencing all the icebergs of your life just by what you can see above the water, you're missing so much below the surface because there is so much more. Now, spirituality embraces all religions because it recognizes that all religions are valid, all paths are valid, and all paths lead to the same destination. So that's all I'm going to say about the difference between spirituality and religion, because I did say I'm not here to talk about that difference, but I did want to put that in there. So however you view religion is fine. However you view spirituality is fine, but the two kind of do relate in a way, but they're not the same thing. So if you would like to take your spiritual practice deeper and go below the surface of the water and explore all that massive chunk of ice that's there just below what you can see, I wanted to share some tips on how you might go about doing that. So one thing is to practice openness. Now, we tend to judge things by our past experiences. We encounter something new in our life, and the only way we know how to make sense of the new thing that we encounter is to make judgments or make assumptions based on all of our life experience prior to that point. But that can lead to being judgmental, whether you think of it as being judgmental or not, or whether you intend to be judgmental or not. Oftentimes we can be, because that's all we know how to do when we face something new. But if we try to keep an open mind and listen to the perspectives of other people, then we can learn a lot that we may not have known about this new thing. And that can open us up to really viewing our entire lives in a different way. When we face new opportunities or new situations, we have the opportunity to learn and to expand our perspective and our consciousness. But when we automatically make assumptions based on what we know from the past, then we're closing ourselves off, and we often miss a lot of things that we can learn. But if we are open to hearing different perspectives, we can learn different things. But that requires that we listen, honestly listen, and few people really and truly do listen. We hear things with our ears, but that's not the same thing as listening to what is around us. A lot of times in conversations, and I know I do this too, I'm human. I will be the first to admit I'm not perfect, and I do this. A lot of times, my people, myself included, are only waiting for someone else to finish talking so that we can interject with our point and what we want to say. And so we're not, in that instance, we're not listening. We are hearing what the other person is saying in terms of words are coming out of their mouth, and we hear that, but we're not paying attention to, taking in, and ruminating over or digesting the information that the person is conveying. We're simply hearing words, waiting for words to stop so that then we can say what we want to say. So we need to listen with our heart and not listen with our ears as much. Because when we listen with our ears, we tune out a lot of what somebody is saying. But if we listen with our heart, then we take in what we hear in our ears, and it goes to our brain, it goes to our heart, and then we actually can comprehend what the other person is saying. And this allows us to see the beauty in other people, other things, other situations, when we don't just automatically tune out to what somebody is saying or doing, and we pay attention, we listen, then we see a deeper aspect to that person, and we can appreciate different things about them that we might not have noticed before. And this can open us up to new ideas of truth, new ways of seeing things, new perspectives. So when you see the truth, you can come to realize that there are very few things in this world that we need to worry about. So when we do all these things that I've been saying up until now, when we keep an open mind, when we truly listen, when we see the beauty in people, then what we're really doing is changing how we react to things. And then we're less likely to worry, to stress, to face anxiety. And I am one that I need to listen to myself saying this. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here, to myself, but I need to, maybe I'm saying this today because I needed to remind myself, because there are a lot of times that I get super anxious and super worried about things. But if I would just do what I'm saying, then I know that my bouts of anxiety and stress would be less. So, again, talking to myself here, don't feel like I'm just telling you what you need to do without experiencing it myself, because I'm truly talking to myself here. Let's see. One thing that really helps me connect deeper with my spirituality is to spend time outside in nature. Now, I am your quintessential indoor kind of girl. I don't like dirt. I don't like bugs. I don't like getting all hot and sweaty. And I just like to be inside. But as I get older, I'm noticing that I do like to spend more and more time outside with my feet bare on the ground, communing with nature. And I can do this still and not get dirty without getting super hot and sweaty, without being covered in bugs, kind of thing. But there are few places that I have felt more at one spiritually and more at peace than I do when I am outside in nature. And it can be as simple as going to the park and laying in the grass. And I do this every year, several times during the summer. I'll just go to the township park. It's actually probably a 3-minute drive from my house to our township park. And I like to go there and just sit in the grass, take my shoes off, sit in the grass, have my feet on the ground, lay down, look up at the sky. Sometimes I will be under a tree and look at the leaves and notice what's in the tree. Other times I'll just be out in the open and just looking up at the sky and noticing what the clouds look like. But that is one of the best things that I have found for me to feel at one spiritually. And most people I talk to feel the same way about being outside in nature. So if you're not an outdoorsy type of person, I still encourage you to at least try it and see what you think, because you may be surprised. And then if you don't like it, that's fine. At least you gave it a try, and then you know. But sometimes, doing new things with an open mind, as I said earlier, can really change our perspective, kind of deal. I love my virtual background here, and how when I move, you can sometimes see the microphone that I'm talking into, blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, love technology like that. Look for the bigger picture in life. This goes with being open. And again, this is why I have notes, because I just lost my train of thought with what I was saying about that. But yeah, I can't even find it in my notes. Just look for the bigger picture. I said that, and I don't know where I was going with that. So take from it what you will. Maybe what I was going to say is not what Spirit wants you to get out of this. So maybe that's why I can't find my place. And maybe Spirit's going to tell you what you need to know about looking for the bigger picture. But stay focused on the present. And this is where mindfulness and meditation can come into practice. And I know I talk a lot about mindfulness and meditation because my business is called Living Moon Meditation. So, of course, talk about meditation and mindfulness. But we can't have a relationship with our spiritual self, with the part of us that is outside of this physical plane, if we're worried about anything, whether it be money, whether it be whatever, no matter what it is. When our time is focused on worrying about something, then we are either in the past or in the future or both. But we're not experiencing the moment that we're in right now. And the moment that we're in right now is never going to come again. What happened in the past is over. It can't be changed. What's going to happen in the future has not happened. And 99.99% of the time, the things we worry about in the future don't actually happen, or don't happen the way that we imagine they're going to happen. So we've wasted all that time right now worrying about something that doesn't ever happen. And when I know this intellectually, but hearing myself say it right now, it's like, why would we even do that? Why would we be, I don't want to say stupid, but that's what it feels like to me when I hear myself say that. Why would I be ignorant enough to put myself into a state of misery? Because that's what it is when I'm worried, when I'm anxious, when whatever. Why would I voluntarily put myself through feeling that way when what I'm worried about more than likely is not going to happen? Why would I not choose to enjoy this moment right now? And I think that's a lot of the reason why I haven't done a lot of videos in the past where you see me like this talking, because I'm like, they're going to judge me. They're going to this, they're going to, who fucking cares? Honestly, who cares? This is my channel and I can say and do and post about whatever I want to. And you're either going to like it and watch my video and subscribe to my channel, or you're not. And it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of my life or your life. It doesn't matter. My YouTube channel means nothing in the grand scheme of things. I have it. I enjoy it. And now that I'm saying all this, I'm like, my mind is being blown by myself right here. I'm like, why do I not do something that I kind of enjoy? I mean, it's kind of stressful, but I think the more I do this, the more I'm going to get to a point where I just don't fucking care, because I just want to share what I want to share. And you're either going to listen, watch, subscribe, and continue, or you're not. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, all that because I'm talking about being focused on this present moment. And I got that because I'm thinking about this present moment where I'm recording this video. No, it's not perfect. It's not polished. I'm sitting here. I have no makeup on. You can see all the spots on my face from the genetic disorder I have. The virtual backgrounds moving in and out. You can sometimes see the microphone, whatever. You can hear the fan going in the back, whatever. This is not a polished video, but it's okay. I'm just here talking. I have notes. I might read something from the notes. I might glance at it and just see what it says and what I want to just spout off at the mouth about. But why not? Because I'm in this moment right now and I'm paying attention to this moment. It's okay. And I'm finding that it's okay. You're either going to like it or you're not. And it doesn't matter. So what I wanted to point out with that is to stay focused in the present, whether that be through noticing what you're doing, being mindful of what you're doing, even if it's not sitting still in actual meditation. I'm not meditating right now, but I'm being mindful of what I'm doing, and being mindful of what I'm doing in this moment led me to a revelation about myself and about this video and about the grand scheme of things with my YouTube channel. So, yeah, self discovery. Because I was mindful in this moment, I was able to discover something new about myself that's not in this physical plane. And that's ultimately what spirituality is self discovery. You can discover new things about yourself when you take time to find ways to deepen your spiritual practice and not just coast along on the surface of the ocean and interact with that one little point of the iceberg that you can see. Love yourself. That's a big one. If you don't love yourself, you're never going to feel comfortable enough to present your true self to the world. And again, that's what I'm doing in this moment right now. I am at a point where I love myself. I don't care if somebody doesn't love me. Whether somebody loves me or doesn't love me has no bearing on my value and my worth as a human being. I am a creation of the universe. I am here for a reason. I have a divine purpose. And whether somebody loves me or doesn't love me does not change that fact that I am a worthy human being just because I am alive and a human being. And loving myself like that, loving myself like that at this point has brought me to a point where I can share my thoughts, my actions, my feelings. I had an instance earlier this year, and it's why I don't really use social media for my business anymore. I had been kicked out of a group on Facebook, which wasn't even business related. So it wasn't even about my business, whatever. But the owner of this group kicked me out of the group because of things she saw on my social media feed. I think it was on Instagram. But I never really connected with promoting my business on social media. And it felt forced to me. And I was not ever able to authentically find my voice there because it's so fleeting. And that's why I like podcasting better. That's why I like making videos better, whether you see me in the video or not. I've had a lot of videos where you don't see me, but I like that better than social media because I feel like I can express myself deeper because there's no like character limit. There's no trying to share to get an algorithm to boost my visibility, whatever. Anyway, so it always felt forced to me. And I didn't like half the stuff I put on social media, but I was listening to the business gurus tell me, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. You need to have posts about this and posts that do this and posts that look like that and posts that say whatever. Well, this person was like, the things that are on your profile, you're fake, you're I can't even remember everything of what she said. But basically she was calling me toxic and manipulative and this, that, and the other. And she kicked me out of her group because obviously if that's how I am in business, that's how my whole life would be, whatever. Well, my first reaction to that was to not love myself and to judge myself and I worried, fear took over, all kinds of stuff, because one, I wasn't staying in the present moment, and two, I was letting an episode of not loving myself take over from what was really happening. So this is months later, because that was in January. It was actually right at the beginning of the new year, 2023. And now we're in June, so it's 6 months later, whatever. But I can look back on that with perspective and from where I'm at in my life now. And I can see, one, I shouldn't have been, I didn't have any business having my business on social media like that anyway, because it wasn't authentic to me. And I still have a profile, whatever, but I don't post on it. And I haven't posted on Face or on Instagram in about 5 months or so. But while that particular instance felt shitty to me and whatever, and I reacted in a way I shouldn't have internally, looking back on it, I can see it as a positive, because it was the catalyst I needed to actually take my business off of social media. I still have groups on Facebook, because that's where I have the interaction with my community. So I have my Bad Witch Society group is hosted on Facebook, and the membership, or the community portion of my membership community, which is called the Porch, and I'll probably do a video about that sometime, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I have those groups on Facebook, and I have a business page on Facebook, but really I don't post a lot on it. I share when I have a podcast episode launch. That gets posted on my business Facebook page, but that's about it these days. And I haven't posted on Instagram in months. So yeah. So that whole episode, I faced some issues and had some problems loving myself at the time, or because I was having issues loving myself at that time, because I experienced that a lot in the winter, because I have issues with seasonal affective disorder. So at that time of the year, usually I have some things going on. And because that happened at that time of the year, and it may not have even affected me the same way if it would have happened like in the summer or whatever, but it happened in January, and I had a reaction. But because ultimately I love myself, and I was able to come out of that seasonal episode back to who I truly am and loving myself, I can see some good and some positive that came out of that. So I don't look at it as completely terrible. I mean, it was awful, but yeah. So that's a long-winded way of saying love yourself. um and also to allow yourself to be inspired. That's the last thing I want to talk about. So, but those kind of that story kind of ties in with loving yourself and with being inspired. I'm able to find inspiration out of that instance and turn it for something positive. But that's not even what I wanted to say with be inspired when I put it in my notes. I wanted to mention, find ways to let yourself be inspired, whether it's sitting in nature and seeing something in nature you don't normally see, or reading a book that you wouldn't normally read and finding inspiration in that. Just find ways to expose yourself to new things and find inspiration from those things. But anyway, all of that was just some ways that you can, maybe if you want to deepen your spirituality, if that's something you want to do, to find ways to be more in tune spiritually. Because like I said, most of the things we do in life are at a surface level. Here's the ocean. You can see on my virtual background, there's the ocean. Now imagine there's an iceberg back there, and you're only seeing part of it, but there's this whole massive chunk of ice under the surface that you're missing out on. Normally, I probably shouldn't use the iceberg analogy because generally we think of icebergs as something bad, like, ooh, you want to avoid that iceberg and don't hit it. And if you only pay attention to what's above the water, you're going to miss the whole massive ice chunk that's going to rip open the hull of your ship and you're going to sink. Titanic. It can go the same way if you look at it as something that you want to encounter. Look at everything you're missing below the surface if you only look at what's above. So if you want to take your spiritual self to a deeper level and explore everything that's below the surface of who you are on this physical plane, and you want to go beyond that, I just shared some tips on how you might want to go about doing that. And if you don't like my tips, then whatever. Take the ones that resonate with you and leave the ones that don't. And yep, that's just what I wanted to say today. So if you're not already subscribed to my channel, find the subscribe button wherever it is, above me, below me, whatever, and hit it. Maybe hit the bell to like it too, or thumbs up to like it, hit the bell to be notified when I put out new content, whatever, because I think I'm going to do this more often because, yeah, this wasn't bad. So whatever you want to do as far as hitting the thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, all that good stuff. And until next time, have a good afternoon.